Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing Bleisure travel, or Bleisure, whatever, leisure with B on the beginning of it. And what are we talking about here? Well, this has been bandied about a lot. I've noticed sort of in the ether that is the internet, kind of the Thai-centric internet associated with expats here in Thailand, this notion of Bleisure travel. It's kind of a blend of business and leisure travel. BBC.com seems kind of sum things up. The article is titled, "The Rise of the Bleisure or Bleisure Traveler." Quoting directly, business travel plus leisure travel equals bleisure travel. It's a hybrid that's growing in popularity as work-life boundaries blur. Quoting further, from the digital nomad tapping out a blog post on a beach in Bali, to the manager checking her emails on a Niseko ski lift, from the full-time freelancer in a co-working space to the engineer coding from his home office, technology has blurred the boundaries between work and play, professional and personal, career and downtime. A creative agency might bat around ideas over the ping pong table. An architectural firm might be at its most productive on retreat. And as the lines between work and life blur, so do the distinctions between business and personal travel. It's a trend that goes way beyond the tried and tested formula of bringing your partner to a conference, where destinations appeal. Professionals around the globe are increasingly adding weekends or even weeks to work trips, whether solo with a partner or as a family. And the reason I went ahead and quoted this rather more extensively than I usually quote things on these videos, this seems to be the paradigm that the Thai policymakers, if you will, who are trying to kind of stimulate the tourism sector, this seems to be where they're aiming. They're trying to bring these folks in. Now, I would argue, so long as we have any kind of substantial quarantine measures, you're going to have a hard time making this selling this no matter what. I mean, there's already, with many, especially with the West, there's already a substantial travel time associated with coming to Thailand. And to add all this extra stuff on here, you know, that we're dealing with right now, it's a pretty high bar for many folks to come here. My personal opinion, just kind of off topic, you know, is Thailand really should continue to focus, in my opinion, at least for the near term, on retiree expats. I think that's going to be really where our bread and butter is, frankly. But this whole notion of bleisure, you know, this blending of business and leisure travel, there may be something to it. I'm not going to dismiss it out of hand. But again, you know, what my hope is that we declare this whole thing endemic, move on with our lives, get the country reopened to a state of play that's akin to what we were at Q1 of 2020, and get back to getting high volumes of tourists into Thailand and not really worried about all these made-up name groups of people. Bleisure travelers, digital nomads. Let's just get some travelers. That would be what I would think. Now, that said, you know, this does, sort of all these proposed visas we're seeing, work authorization on certain elite cards and stuff. Yeah, I do think we're definitely seeing a paradigm shift toward this bleisure travel. But look, let's be clear. I don't think you're ever going to be able, I don't know how many bleisure travelers it's going to take to replace 39 million in and out travelers to Thailand. So is it a good idea? Yeah, it's a fine idea insofar as, you know, we need to be looking somewhere, and it's a good idea to try to think creatively. But, you know, my opinion is let's get back to what we were doing at the first quarter of 2020 and move on with, you know, rectifying the tourism sector here in the Kingdom of Thailand.